Welcome and thank you for watching Loose and Lore with Meg. For this video, this is going to be my rambling on reading vlog that goes on throughout the month of November. I started filming this like way back, maybe even the last week of October. I can't quite remember. Today is the first day of December, so this is when I'm finishing this up and getting it edited, and I realized that I never did film like a actual start to this video, so this is what this is. I kind of just went through and shared my thoughts while I was reading and what my thought process was going into next books and that kind of thing. So hopefully you enjoy and get to see the little snippets of me and my thinking while I'm reading. And I throw in some of my crafty stuff that I do throughout it. I didn't do that as well as I would have liked, so I definitely am going to look at doing that better going forward. So let me know any ways that you would like to see these change and evolve and that kind of thing, and I'd be all for it. So that is it. Let's get into past me telling you about my reading and everything like that. Good afternoon. It is a Friday evening. I just finished work and it is the last week of October, and I decided I am going to go ahead and start the first book of my November TBR because I don't have enough time between when I need to read this book like when I need to start it and now to read a different book, so I might as well start this one because I have Stiff by Mary Roach as my book club book. It's also my nonfiction book for one of my challenges for my TBR for the month. And I have my book club meeting November 6th for this. So I really want to make sure I give myself enough time to really delve in and read this the way I want to, because I really do think this could be a 5-star read, which is very exciting. This is about cadavers and their like uses and how they have advanced science throughout the centuries. I have read the introduction to this already and it sounds so good. Like the introduction was 5 stars, so I'm really looking forward to this. The back blurb says Stiff is an oddly compelling, often hilarious exploration of the strange lives of our bodies post-mortem. For 2,000 years, cadavers, some willingly, some unwittingly, have been evolved in scientists' boldest strides and weirdest undertakings. In this fascinating account, which visits the good deeds of cadavers over the centuries and tells the engrossing story of our bodies when we are no longer in them. In the foreword, she talks about how she sees bodies as not being who the person was. Like she talks about when her mother died and how her body, like her cadaver, was no longer her mom, and I kind of feel that way personally too. So I think I'm gonna like agree with some of the viewpoints within this book, but also fascinated to learn the science behind all these different stories that she's going to tell. Just looking through like the chapters, like it looks like there's going to be a wild ride of different things, from like, you know, scientific advancements in surgery, body snatching and like crime related stuff, decay, composition, like yeah, there's decapitation, so I think it's going to have some heavier topics, but like I said, I'm really looking forward to this. It is a 300-page book, so I will probably read about 150 pages and then I will check in with you and let you know how it's going. And that's kind of going to be my plan for, you know, how I do my wrap-ups. Is I'm gonna kind of check in when I start the book, about halfway through the book, and when I finish the book. So hopefully you found that interesting. I am gonna sit back in my chair and read for a little bit before my kids and everything get home from school and daycare and everything like that, and start the weekend. But I will check in with you when I get to the next part of this. Good morning. It is early. I just got back from dropping my daughter off from school and about to get started like working for the day and everything, but I wanted to go ahead and give an update on Stiff so far. I am on chapter 5, and which is 114 pages into the book. I can tell that this book is going to be one where there's certain chapters I'm really going to be drawn to, and others that aren't as interesting because they cover different aspects of how cadavers are used. I think it was chapter 2 was about body snatching and the history of that practice in relation to the anatomists and stuff like that that were, you know, using cadavers to study the body and whatnot. And I found that chapter super interesting. There's some like stats from it that I'd really like to like delve more into, like the fact that at the time, like these body snatchers were making like $1,000 a year, and she says how that's pretty good money and makes more than most of the time. So I'd like to convert that like to like now money to see how much that is. I haven't done that yet, so maybe before I finish the book I will do that and let you know. But that chapter was super interesting. There was also a chapter on bodies and how they're used within like driving as like crash test dummies and that kind of thing. That one I didn't find it as interesting, but you know, that's just how this book is gonna go. The writing style is super funny. I think it's super engaging, so I definitely am enjoying it. I didn't realize that this author, I don't know, for some reason I thought she was more connected to science, but it seems like she is a journalist that has delved into learning about these different topics. And I didn't expect that. For some reason in my head, she was a scientist that is now writing about the different practices, and I don't think that's the case. There was a really cool chapter about decay and stuff like that, and she talked about the body farm at Tennessee in Knoxville. And as someone who's grown up in the area and known about it, it was really cool to read a different perspective about it and that kind of thing. So that was really cool. Also, a part of this whole check-in, I wanted to check in and kind of tell you what my plan is for crochet, because I feel like if I tell someone my plan, then I'll actually stick to it. So this is me holding future me accountable. I want to go through and catch up. I have a spreadsheet that I'm tracking all the temperatures each day, the highs for the year, and I haven't updated it since August. And this is for my temperature blanket. So today I want to make sure that I go through and get that spreadsheet caught up with all of the dates, and my light just died apparently. So sorry about that. Let me turn a little bit this way and use this light. Okay, so I want to get all that updated so that way I can go through and start catching up on my temperature blanket. I know I will not finish the temperature blanket this year. I know that I probably will not finish the temperature blanket in January or February. So it's just one of those things that I will at least want to get maybe the summer finished this month and see how that goes. At least get June and July. That's my goal. So if I can get that part done, I feel like I'll be doing okay. So that's my goal for this month, along with reading, is just to get my June and July temperature blanket caught back up. I need to get all my supplies organized because I started this temperature blanket when we were living in our old house and we have moved. And so my supplies are everywhere. Our craft room is literally the last room that we've decided to get put together and organized and fixed. And therefore my crafts are feeling it because I have not picked up anything in a long time. So I'm going to go through and at least get this project picked back up and started again, because it's the one that I'm really the most proud of how much work I've put into it so far. I have, I think, all the way through May complete. And that's a lot of work, and that's a lot, like, I didn't realize how much work temperature blanket would be going into it. Like, I was like, oh, it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be fine. It's a lot. So just know that going in, if you are gonna make one, it's a lot of consistent work and not doing any other projects, because I found that if I'm consistently working on the temperature blanket, then that's the project I have to work on. Because you get behind quick if you're trying to actually keep up with the dates that you're on. Especially with the way that I've decided to do mine. I'll be sure to, like, maybe in a future clip show you some of the panels of mine, but I've decided to do it in a granny square pattern, so each like row is a day. So it's like day 1 through 10 I can knock out super quick, but then you start getting to the back days that are so big, and it definitely eats up a lot of time per day on those back ends. So I can get a bunch of months started, maybe. I don't know if that's the way to go, to like get like, you know, the first 15 days and a bunch of months started and then go from there, or just, you know, keep on going on the months that I'm on that are taking so long because they're so big. But each panel like ends up being like, you know, this big, if not a little bit bigger. So it's a hefty project. So that's my goal, is to at least get everything organized and start catching up for June and July. And so that way I'll at least have half of the year done by hopefully the end of November. That would be great. So anywho, that's my check-in. I am going to go to work, listen to this on some audiobook, and I will update you some other time. So I thought I would show you around my spreadsheet that I have for my temperature blanket. It's super simple, but I find it interesting. So on the first tab, I just have my different color information for my yarn and the temperatures that it covers. This took a while to figure out because I wanted to have a small enough temperature range that you were seeing a lot of variation on the blanket. And also judging that compared to like my area, the temperatures that we get. So I knew that I could start pretty high in our temperature range because we don't get very low very often. And that ended up working out really well. I am only doing this based off of the high temperature for the day, which is also why I can go a little bit higher. I've considered, if I do this again, doing a row that is low versus high and kind of having that pairing. But I haven't decided if I'm ever going to do a temperature blanket again. But anyways, so this is my color range. I did have to go through and add in an over 100 because I said if I got a temperature that was over 100, I wanted to make sure to capture that. So I have not determined what exactly the yarn color is going to be because I've only had one of those days. So I want to get some sort of like magenta-y color for that. So then on this page is where I actually track all of the high temperatures. So you can see I have a list of the day. I have a check mark on whether or not I've actually crocheted that row yet. And then I have the high temperature and the color that it pertains to. And then when I'm done for that month, I add in a picture of the actual square so that way I can see it next to each and that kind of thing and kind of look at them compared to each other. And then I have a chart over here that has kind of like how many days of the year have been in each color range so far. I really expected this chart to look this way. So this is not shocking that, you know, my most used range is in this, you know, 76 to 88 degree range that tracks. So then, yeah, if you scroll down, you can see this is February's, and then March and April, and that's as far as I've gotten. I still have to finish May. I forgot that I had the last couple days of May left to crochet, and it is this big burgundy block that takes forever because, as you can see, when you get to the end, it is a huge amount of stitches for each row. I do finish it in black, which is hard to see here, but there is a black row at the end as just my finishing, the same as there's the black in the center for each. So that way that helps take into account the extra days that some months have. Like February this year I only had 29 days, which that worked out great. So I only had a couple extra rows of black. But you can see, like here, you can kind of see how that has some extra rows. So anywho, this is my tracker. I have a lot of days to catch up on. So let's see how many I can get done this month. Like I said, I'm really hoping to finish off May, June, and hopefully July. That would be a great kind of wrap up for the month.
I see it. Being dead is not terribly far off from being on a cruise ship. Most of your time is spent lying on your back. The brain is shut down. The flesh begins to soften. Nothing much new happens, and nothing is expected of you. If I were to take a cruise, I would prefer that it be one of those research cruises, where the passengers, while still spending much of the day lying on their backs with blank minds, also get to help out with a scientist's research project. These cruises take their passengers to unknown, unimagined places. They give them the chance to do things that they would not otherwise get to do. I guess I feel the same way about being a corpse. Why lie around on your back when you can do something interesting and new, something useful? For every surgical procedure developed, from heart transplants to gender reassignment surgery, cadavers have been there alongside the surgeons, making history in their own quiet, sundered way.
Hey, can I have my yarn back? Please? I need this. Hey, so I figured I'd do a quick update of my crochet project and how it's going. I went through and cleaned up all my yarn, and I had promised to show you some of the squares. So I believe this is March, so you can see it is really nice and big, which I really like. I am planning on doing 3 across and 4 down, so that way it's like the quarters of the year is each row. Let's see, I think this is January. So this is really nice. This is probably my favorite just because of the colors, which is really funny because I don't like cold weather that much, but I'm kind of hoping for more cold weather because I really love how this one turned out. So far, October, super hot. So far, November, not very cold. So we'll have to see how that goes with the colors because right now I'm still getting a lot of red and burgundy and those kind of upper 70 and 80 degree temperatures. December is always a fun time because it will go from 80 to like 20 the next day. So we'll see how many times that happens. If you have any predictions, you can leave it down below and let me know. I'm thinking at least 3 times. That would be what my guess would be. So I am hoping to get some more started. I did start on June, so I have a little tiny square for June right now. This is only 2 days worth, so you can kind of see how they start. I start with 2 rows of black in the middle, and then I start the daily rows for the temperature. I'm hoping to read some today. I'd really like to get some more of Stiff by Mary Roach done. I need to finish it up probably this weekend, so that way it's done before Wednesday, because that's when my IRL book club is, and I really want to talk about this one. I also, when I did my TBR video, I completely forgot that November is nonfiction November, but thankfully my dice were on point and gave me 2 nonfiction books. So that's been a lot of fun to know I'm participating in that. And I actually joined Justin's science challenge and been on their Discord, which is great. It's been fun to see all the book recommendations on there because science nonfiction is one of my favorites to read. Although I'm tempted to get into like history nonfiction, but I want my history nonfiction to be written in a story kind of telling way. Not so much of like fact on fact on fact. So we'll see if I could maybe find some of those. That would be cool. If you have any, let me know. I'm gonna go on to the next part and I'll see you in that one. Bye. So it is the first Wednesday of November and I did just finish Stiff by Mary Roach. Which works out perfectly because I go to my book club in about an hour. So I was able to finish this before my book club. Overall, I liked it. I didn't love it. it's one of those that certain sections was really captivating. I really liked the more almost medical side of her studies, like the section on decapitation was super interesting. But some of the others like just weren't to my taste and to my interest, but it still was a really well written book. And I'm glad I've read it because it gives me an idea of like what her writing style is, because I have been looking at reading like Packing for Mars and a couple of her other books, and I think I still want to read Packing for Mars because the subject of it is super interesting to me as far as studying like what you would need if you were going to live on Mars in space and that kind of thing. But some of her others, like Gulp and some of those, I don't think I'm gonna pick up. Just because I think, one, the subject matter isn't something that I'd be super interested in. And I think it's gonna be a little bit like this, where it's gonna go back and forth on chapters that I really liked and some that just were fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Like, they're really well written, really well researched, but they're just, weren't keeping me as focused in on it as the rest. So I do think I'm gonna give it a 4-star book because, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not gonna like deem a book lesser stars because it's not to my like interest, taste of subject matter. Because for nonfiction, I knew what the subject matter was going into it. So yeah. I don't know what I want to pick up next, I'll be honest. I am feeling some way, right now. So a part of me is like, oh, I should just stick to my plan and start my next book for my TBR, which I was thinking about doing The Rise and Reign of Mammals, to go ahead and continue on my nonfiction November kind of kick that my TBR had for me. A part of me is like, let's just go into Brandon Sanderson's The Will of Ascension so I can just continue on with Mistborn. And a part of me just wants to like get like a Harry Potter fanfic and just curl up and read a fanfic for a while. I have just started reading those this year and have fallen in love with them. And it's kind of almost like a comfort read because it's characters that you know and you don't like have to learn anything to do. And even like the harder hitting ones like still feel like a comfort read, if that makes sense. Like, I read Manacled and it was devastating to read, you know, but it also felt like a comfort read because I was going back to a world that I know. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like maybe I need that little bit of a comfort read right now. And so that might throw this whole TBR into a tizzy, because I don't know what I want to do. So I think I'm gonna sleep on it. I might just pick up a short fanfic because I think I have one that's decently short, and just start it, and then maybe like while I'm working and stuff like that, I can do The Rise and Reign of Mammals, because I am going to do that on audiobook, which will help with this whole thing because the fanfics are only on my Kindle, and so I can read those at night and that kind of thing. So I have a feeling that's what I'm going to do. I might continue to sit here and read a little bit longer before I get ready to go for book club. I am hoping that going out and spending time with my friends and stuff like that will help my mood. Because right now, I don't know, I just feel kind of a little anxious and tired, and like I just want to go to bed, but you know, you can't just curl up and go to bed all the time. So I'm gonna get some headache medicine, and hopefully Hermione fanfic will be the thing that perks me up. So yeah, I think that's the plan. I'm gonna maybe read a little bit of that before I go and discuss this with my friends. So that is it for this update. I will update you when I have more. So I figured I would give you a update. I'm hand holding this, so hopefully it's not too shaky with my hands. But I have decided to do the audiobook of The Rising Reign of Mammals. I'm currently like 3 chapters into it. I've been listening to it while I work and stuff like that, and that's been really nice. I don't know what it is about these 2 books. Like the first one gave me the same feelings, but they're like quite comforting to read and listen to. And it's something that I will never remember all of the little details because there are so many details. But like the general like ideas and transitional periods and stuff like that, like I remember. And that kind of thing, and the general concepts of how everything evolved into the next, and like the different extinction points and stuff like that. I don't know, I just really like these 2 books. I think they're a lot of fun to listen to and explore, and I like that the audiobook, because that's all I have right now. I need to order the physical book of this one. But the audiobook comes with an accompanying it's a hard word, PDF, so you can actually see like the illustrations and stuff that were within the book. And so that's been fun to like at the end of each chapter kind of look through all the different pictures and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. I also said that I was going to start probably a fanfic for Harry Potter, and I have. I ended up choosing the portrait of Draco Malfoy, I think is the title of it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know, there's just something really fun about those 2. So I've been like reading that on my Kindle at night, and then listening to the audiobook throughout the day, and that's been a good mix right now. So definitely happy with my reading choices right now. I'm gonna go back to work though and continue to listen to some more of my audiobook. So that is my update so far. It's been a really good choices for me. So okay, that's it. Bye.
So I'm just going to update you from here. This is on my laptop, so hopefully it records okay. But I figured I'd see you on my reading. It is the 21st of November. It's been a while since I have updated you on what I've been doing. I am almost done with the Rise and Reign of Mammals, and I am loving it. It is something that's very slow to get through, just because it's pretty dense subject matter in the sense that there's a lot of facts thrown at you, but it's also something that I know I'm not going to remember everything of. I'm horrible with names to begin with, so remembering all the names of these prehistoric mammals and that kind of thing are never going to happen. But I love the storytelling aspect that the author does within this, and how he weaves like his own learning in life into the histories of mammals, and in the first one of dinosaurs, but also gives you like history of the people who has done the research and has found all the different fossils and everything. It's just super interesting, and I really love these 2 books. So it's going great. So I'm hoping that I can finish that in the next like day or 2, because I really need to go through and read Station 11 pretty quickly, because I do want to reread that before I meet with people within my work book club. So I definitely want to do that. So that's on the list to maybe do this weekend, just to start that. I am also finishing up my fanfic that I've been reading. And so that's been fun. That's been when I go to bed at night, I read it on my Kindle for a little bit. Rise and Reign of Mammals, I've been doing audio. So like just now I was going through and I have this, like the gem painting thing. You can see where I've done some. I've had it for like almost a year and haven't touched it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I remembered that I had this that's supposed to be for like medicine and vitamins and stuff, but I'm so horrible with medicine and vitamins that I never remember to use it. But I'm like, there's 31 colors on the gem painting, and there's 31 days in this. So I put all my gems in here so it's easier to store. So I'm pretty happy about that. You know, he needs vitamins. This is good for my mental health, right? This is my first one of these, so I'm seeing if I like it. I thought the repetitive of it would be nice because I don't have to think about what I'm doing while I listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. And so far that has been nice. I do need to get like a better one of these things because this sucks. It's like a super cheapy one that came with the kit. And I think that kit was like $5, so it's not a very good one. But yeah, I think so far I'm liking it. We'll see how it continues and if I actually have the motivation to finish it. That will be a different story. I also have been building some Lego at night, and that's my favorite thing in the world. I love clicking together the pieces. Maybe I could share like what I've been working on that. I have been crocheting my temperature blanket. Will I finish what I wanted to this month? No way. Nowhere near, actually. So we'll see how I do with that and everything. But it's not going all the way to plan, but I'm at least am working on it and have it organized where I can pick it up and work on it as I feel like it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna finish my break now that I need to get back and do some stuff and listen to some more Rise of Mammals and then go through and start Station 11. That is the goals. One of the chapters I was just listening to of Rise of Mammals that kind of sticks to me that I thought I would share is it is talking about like the time we live in now versus, all these different histories of animals that have been in the past. And the fact that the blue whale is the largest mammal that has ever existed, and we live within that time, and basically trying to impart this idea of cherishing what we have because it's not guaranteed to always be there. And I thought that was really impactful and really well written. This whole section that I'm reading right now because it's going through like the mammals that we have now, like some of them that are, quite exotic compared to different ones, like the fact that elephants is as large as they are, considering that mammals in whole have been so teeny tiny throughout history, and just the fact that we'll never probably have anything as large as these mammals again because of the conditions and stuff that has brought up to this point, and that they're physically at what we believe to be the limits of size when it comes to mammals. And I just think that's really cool. I don't know if anybody else does. And right now, the part I was just listening to was about bats and how bats are the only flying mammal that has existed. And in general, like flight is such a rare thing to be and that kind of thing. So it's just pretty cool. So I'm gonna go back to listening and get back to work. Okay, bye.
I got something exciting. Hey, it's Megan. I want to share something because I'm getting it in the mail, and I figured I'd just add it here, but I got my Will Dominion. It's so pretty. I am kind of mad about the little smudge there, but it is what it is. It's fun. I really, really love this cover. It's actually a lot prettier than I thought it was going to be. And I also really like that they kind of have a throwback to the original cover here and in the end papers. Like, I think that's really cool. So, super excited that this is here. I really want to read it soon. So, you will probably be seeing this again very soon. So, anyways, just add it to show, a little bit of a mini haul in the middle of this because it's going to be a bit before I actually do like any haul videos because I'm trying not to buy any more books. So, there we go. There's still more books coming in the mail though, so I got my book club Christmas book coming, so I'll show you that after Christmas. But anyways, Bye. Hi, hello. It is new update time. I have not felt 100% the past 2 to 3 days. But I did finish the Rise and Reign of Mammals and really enjoyed it. There's something about the writing style that is within those books that just really tickle my brain. It's so easy to listen to and read, and the subject matter is just stuff that I find so interesting. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I loved learning some of the different facts about mammal ancestry and stuff that I didn't know about, and everything like that. So that was really, really good. And I have started Station 11. I am probably halfway through Station 11 already. I'm flying through it. I kind of knew I would, just because with it being a reread, it reads a little faster. And it's also, I think, coming from such a heavy subject matter of a book like The Rise and Reign of Mammals, the kind of fact that this is fiction, I'm just flying through it. Anyways, I did go by the library yesterday and I got 3 books. Well, really 2 books, because I rechecked out this book because I haven't gotten to it yet. And thankfully there wasn't anybody waiting on it or anything, so I was able to recheck it out. I think I'm definitely not going to get to this in November, even though it was on my November TBR. But I'm hoping that the 2-ish weeks of, you know, between Thanksgiving and January, New Year's, that's what I meant. That I'm hoping I can get this read. That's kind of when I'm thinking I'm going to start this. I'm going to have quite a few days off, and I'm hoping I can just rest and read and listen to the audiobook while I read it, so that way it helps with the length and heft of this thing. But yeah, so I got that one, not a new one, but I did pick up 2 new nonfiction books that I just happened to see, and I thought that they looked so interesting, so I wanted to pick them up. So I might throw these into this month if I get the time. I might throw these into December. But the first one is A Brief History of Earth by Andrew H. Knoll. I loved the little side of this. It's like a little mini book, and it just, I don't know, there's all these different images throughout it. I thought it would tie in with the book I just finished very well. It says 4 billion years and 8 chapters. And the blurb on the front is from Steve Brusatte, who wrote The Rise and Reign of Mammals and The Rise and Fall of Dinosaurs. So I figured if he's blurbing this, then it has to be good. So, yeah, I don't know what the chapters are in this. I wonder what the chapters are. So it says Chemical Earth, Physical Earth, Biological Earth, Oxygen Earth, Animal Earth, Green Earth, Catastrophic Earth, and Human Earth. So, yeah, that sounds really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. The reread is going fantastic. I really love Emily St. John Mandel's writing style. It's flowery enough that it's unique and feels like pretty, but straightforward enough that it's not driving me crazy. So that's, you know, perfect. right where it needed to be. Just everything about it, and this is my first time reading it since the big 2020 catastrophe of pandemic, so that's really interesting to kind of compare some of the reactions and that kind of thing. Obviously, what happened with this and this book was so fast that you can't really compare, but some of the fear and that kind of thing is kind of really interesting to read. now that we have gone through something kind of similar. Obviously not to the scale, but it definitely hits closer to home now. But that's it for me. I'm gonna get off here, and I feel like I'm rambling, so let's just go ahead and say adios and bye. And you like my new glasses? I like them, so I don't know. Bye. Hello, so this is going to be the final little clip for this reading vlog. Let me know what you all think about this whole thing. I'm a little unsure how it went, but you know, it's I've done, you know, a month long of filming now, so it is going to stay the way it is as of now. But I am literally on like the last chapter of Station 11. Once again, I'm loving it. I originally read it probably in 2018-ish time and gave it 5 stars. I'm giving it 5 stars again. I was worried that on a reread I wouldn't enjoy it as much because of the twists and connections that are within the book. I would already know. I should have known better though, because one, it's a great book. So that really helps. The writing and everything is just really, really beautiful and I really enjoy it. And 2, I can't remember shit. So it's all new to me again. But really, I think what really helped was knowing some of the connections later on. I was able to like make some insights into earlier little tidbits and stuff that I didn't the first time reading. So that was a lot of fun. And just going through and realizing the differences between my first read and the second read and stuff I was picking up on, and how I could just like kind of settle into the writing without trying to figure things out was really, really nice. So that is my 4th book of the month. I'm counting my fanfic as a book because it was like 600 and something pages that I read. I didn't realize how long that fanfic was until I looked it up, and it's like around 300,000 words, which, you know, if you translate that to traditional hardbacks, is somewhere between 600 and like 750 pages. So yeah, I'm gonna count it as reading a book. I didn't really tell you much about it though. I guess I can tell you about it a little bit now, and I'm gonna go ahead and include it in my wrap up too, because why not? It was the portrait of Draco Malfoy. That was said horribly. It was the portrait of Draco Malfoy. I need to learn to enunciate my words better. I tend to mumble sometimes, I think, or like get tongue-tied. But it was a really good like slow burn romance between Draco and Hermione, because that's my go-to for fanfic right now. I do need to branch out and see. I like fanfic that isn't all about the romance though. I don't want it to be just basically smut after smut after smut. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I want really good storylines and plot lines. I really liked the relationship in this. I thought some of the like intrigue and the mystery of it could have been a little better, but I understand like it's mainly about their romance and their enemies to friendship to what they become and that kind of thing. And that part of it I loved. I find that fanfic, specifically of Harry Potter, does characters so well. And I think it's because I already like them so much that it really helps to solidify that in these fanfics and whatnot. So was it the best book I ever read? No. Was it a really fun read? Yes. So that's what I like about it. So if you have some good fanfics, and it doesn't have to be Harry Potter fanfics, but it can be other ones as well, of some of the more popular series, let me know, because I'd like to read them. I think they're a lot of fun to read on my Kindle and go through and sprinkle in every once in a while. But like I said, I don't want it to be like just about the smut. I want it to be good relationship, good like characters and storytelling and that kind of thing. Like, I want more to it than just yeah. So anyways, that is it. To update you on my crochet. So my goal was to do 3 months of a temperature blanket. I almost finished one. So not the best. I have 2 more rows to do of this one, and then the black row to finish it off. So yeah, you can see I am almost done with it. I really love the colors of this one. It shows all the hot temperatures. The next month will even have hotter temperatures, so I get a lot more of the purple in it, which I think would be really cool. But I have 2 more rows of the same burgundy color to do at the end, and it had 4 rows of the same yarn. So that was just a lot to like keep on going. I kind of got bored, which is something that happens on these later rounds because it takes so long to get through all of this that I get burnt out very quickly. When it's the inner parts, I'm constantly like feeling like I'm checking off and doing great. These outer parts get really bog me down. So that is still a work in progress and will continue to be a project for the next month. I am trying to crochet a book sleeve right now because I want to put it with my Christmas book for my book club. So I'm trying to finish that so that way I can do that. And I've also decided to try to learn how to knit because I love knitted clothing. I think knitted clothing is better than crochet as far as how it looks and the things you can do with it. So I really want to learn how to knit, but so far I have not figured it out. I can cast on like nobody's business. I really like that part, you know, I'll do the long tail cast on. Great at that. Can't do anything else though. So I'm gonna attempt to learn maybe that in December, as well as continuing to do this. One thing I will say about this in particular, the way I've done this temperature blanket, is I don't have to count anything anymore. Like I just go and I don't have to worry about it because I've memorized the pattern so much that it feels second nature. So I don't have to think about anything when I'm doing this. So this is a really good project to like work on when I'm watching shows or listening to an audiobook or that kind of thing, because it's just mindless work at this point, which is really, really great. So yeah, I hopefully will finish this next couple days, and that way I can actually continue on with the rest of my month, because I still have half a year to crochet, which is just, you know, it is what it is, but you know, we're gonna get there at some point. So yeah, this is the end of my reading vlog. I hope you liked it. Like I said, let me know if you like this format and if I should continue it. I will have a official wrap up going more in depth into the books I read and giving like more of a review type thing for those, and that will be coming out next, so you can look forward to that. And I think that is it for now. So thank you for watching if you've stayed on this long, because I know this is a little bit of a longer video than I have typically made so far. So thank you for watching, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading, stay cozy, stay crafty, bye!